Alright, so here's my 20-gallon pot and my 2x2. What I'm growing in here is Acapulco Gold, a Mexican land raised. And I only put two in here because it looks like a ton of space, but as these grow, especially when they go into flower, they will blow up like crazy. I'll have a ton of space on the bottom, but once I get up to this area, I'm going to have absolutely no space whatsoever. And my biggest issue is always running against mold because the plants grow right here, right alongside the back wall, and that moisture from the colas actually starts to mold a little bit. So I'm trying to keep this as minimal as possible. This one is running a blue mat system, different from the one I have in my front room. That one's just like a simple pump setup. This one's a blue mat, so this will run water to these continuously in incremental drops. What I have here is a pea plant, and I believe one on the other side. And what this is going to do in here is pull that nitrogen from the air, put it down into the soil, create some nitrogen rich activity, which will then be converted into growth material for the plants. Right now I'm running CO2, just a simple CO2 in here. I'll probably do a DIY on how I make it. Pretty simple. Just get a bottle and it kind of activates itself every morning once it gets about 70 some odd degrees in there. Running the line right here all the way up top, which comes into this reservoir. So I fill this up with about 2.5 gallons every other day. And I also run small tidbits of nutrients in there, which would be either Epsom salt or maybe some aloe vera powder or silicate, so that can go directly to the roots. I have my simple fan attached on right now, and that's just going to add a little bit of air in here, so that will help combat the moisture, as well as encourage the plants to grow a little bit thicker from the stalk. Other than that, pretty straightforward and simple like the other tent. Just adding the hay at the bottom to keep as much moisture in as possible. Added some fungi culture in there just to get those roots going, moving. This will take about a week, maybe two, before I start to see anything really noticeable. But after that, these are going to blow up like crazy. This 1,000-watt LED right here just puts off a good amount of light, and these plants will soak them up. This is my fourth run with this pot from Honor Cannabis. This one, the soil itself is only about maybe 6 months, no, probably about 4 months old. I had a huge thrip outbreak in here, and I wanted to find out pretty much where it's coming from, so I just threw everything away. Still had an issue. It was probably from the clones that I put in here, but it is cleaned out now. I'm going to lay down some fly traps in here, spray with the DIY repellent, and that should hopefully keep them away, because having to wash my harvest right afterwards with that peroxide solution is a pain in the ass. So I don't want to keep doing that every single run. This time around, I hope to not have to do that at all. But otherwise, I'm excited for this one. Again, this is a Mexican land race known as Acapulco Gold. It will get tall. Hoping to take some cuttings from here and just keep growing the same strain, because it already looks like it's going to be a nice size grow. It's only about 14 days from germination, and I've got a decent amount of stalk. I got a little blue piece right here to keep this one standing up because it got a little lengthy on me. This one's nice and short, which is fine. In about 3 weeks, these should definitely triple in size. They're sitting at about 2 3/4 of an inch. I measured them, right before I put them in here. So they shouldn't hit that 4-inch mark till about week 3 or 4. But again, once they take off, they're definitely going to take off. I have some more cover crops in here. Didn't want to do a whole lot because it's a pain in the ass, because these will grow taller than the plants until they get into flowering. So I just added a little bit in here. Again, this is going to correct some deficiencies in there. This is actually going to pull nutrients from the air, put it down into the plant's root system, which will cause them to spread out, grow deeper, and that will make the plant itself grow much bigger and healthier. But yeah, week 1 of my 20-gallon Acapulco Gold is in full swing.